Afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to our KETIV AVA AEC Lunch and Learn. My name is Eric Cortola, Territory Account Manager here at KETIV. With me, I've got my friend and colleague, Nigel.
Hey, everybody. Nigel and Bayek here. Seen you a couple times here already. Today we've got something pretty great for you, Eric. Do you want to?
Sure, yeah. So today, very requested and super popular, feature they just added in the newest AutoCAD, PDF import.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and demo that functionality for you guys today. Expect to be here about 20 to 30 minutes tops. As always, feel free to ask any questions throughout this presentation. We try and make it as collaborative as possible, and we'll make sure we go ahead and address them before we finish today. Definitely. So I guess as far as the agenda going, Nigel's just going to quickly give you the history, of PDFs in AutoCAD, or how that's worked as far as file formats. We'll go ahead and do a live presentation, obviously answer any questions you have, and then just tell you how you can acquire that new functionality if you don't already have 2017 AutoCAD.
Definitely, or any of the verticals or LT in general.
Right, yeah, good question.
Yeah, so this kind of encompasses all verticals of AutoCAD. I know that most people aren't necessarily using vanilla. They're using things like Civil 3D, electrical, mechanical. Those are still all AutoCAD products. So this will relate to those people as well.
And then one other thing, probably LT too as well. So even AutoCAD LT 2017 has its functionality.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty awesome in that sense. Let's get started here. So first, what is it? So PDFs, portable document format. It's kind of your general file type here for sending pictures, for sending documents to people. A lot of people use PDFs in the sense that it's like a file that someone could print or someone can acquire and not necessarily change the contents of it. So for example, a lot of times when you're sending sensitive information over the net, you're sending it as PDFs, so people can't necessarily open that document in Word, change some of the words around, etc. The functionality did exist before 2007, but it wasn't necessarily out of the box. You'd have to get like a third-party add-in or come up with a way to plot to PDF. In 2007, that's when they started. You can print a PDF, and just about everyone is printing to PDF these days. Mm-hmm. AutoCAD 2010, increased functionality where you could attach a PDF as an underlay in your drawing. So what that is you'd be able to take a PDF and put that underneath what your drawing would be, and you'd be able to snap to corners on that PDF. It wouldn't come in as geometry, but you'd be able to use it as a reference. To be able to draw on top of, to use for scale. Things along that nature. And in 2017 came what I think is one of the most innovative things that Autodesk has done, and you can directly import most PDFs with vector data in them, as well as raster. But you can take that vector data from a PDF, import it. It keeps its layer properties and everything, and it comes in as geometry and text that you can edit, which is actually really awesome. So inherently, the big problem with PDFs before was, say, for example, someone would send you a PDF and say there was a typo in there or there was an error in terms of a dimension or something. You would have to ask that person for the original DWG file to go ahead and edit that yourself. Well, now you can take that file, open that PDF, import it into your AutoCAD, change, whatever you need to in regards to dimensions, text, etc., and be on your merry way. I know sometimes it's hard to reach that original designer. To get that original file from them, especially if it's large, you can't email it to each other. Right,
and then waiting for them to edit it and then save the drawing, export, send you another PDF. It's a lot easier this way, obviously.
Definitely. So let's go ahead and jump to the next slide here. So this is a graph of a poll that was taken at Autodesk University 2015. If you don't know what Autodesk University is, it's like a once-a-year Autodesk gathering. They've been doing it in Las Vegas the last couple of years, where they have classes taught by Autodesk employees, as well as some people, application engineers from resellers like us, or even people in industry themselves. They actually previewed this feature, this PDF import feature, in 2015 at AU. And ask people, hey, are you going to use this feature if it comes out? And as you can see, about 95% of people either agreed or strongly agreed in terms of using this PDF import feature. I'm sure that many people here on this actual call have had that same problem where it's like, they misspelled their name in the title block. I need to go get that file again to change it. Well, now you don't have to. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into AutoCAD. So standard AutoCAD 2017. Note 2017 does not work in 2016 or previous versions. But if you're on current maintenance, you have access to all the newest software. So you can go ahead and install 2017 at will. Also, to note for those of you who are using AutoCAD and are already on 2017, there is a service pack out, and you can install it. So if you need help with that, you can call us here at Lifeline. We'll be more than happy to help you.
Gotcha. And let me just cut in real quick. So anyone who hasn't seen it already, I think about a month or maybe 2 months ago, we already did it, essentially what's new in 2017 AutoCAD. Mm-hmm. We're just going to go ahead and demonstrate this PDF functionality in more detail. But
definitely.
If you're curious about what else they added in 2017 AutoCAD, you can go ahead and check it out on our YouTube channel.
Or let us know. Recordings. Yeah, we can let you. We can give you that link as well. Maybe I'll even post it in here if we've got some time during the Q&A. So start from scratch here. Let's go ahead and take a drawing. I already have one. I was just gonna underlay a PDF instead of taking the time to do that. Here is a drawing that I have, and this is a PDF underlay. So none of this is geometry. If you look in home, none of this is layers. You can't go ahead and delete any of this. You can't select any of these objects because they're behind the actual work surface. It's underlaid. So let's go ahead and import this. So say, for example, you had this particular setup here, and you wanted to, say, extend this line, or you wanted to make this hole larger. Say you wanted to make this hole larger. Well, instead of having to take the original Dwig file and work it that way, you can take the PDF that the vendor sent you and import that as geometry. So you're going to go into your Insert tab, which is the second tab here in AutoCAD. Excuse me. And there's a function here called PDF import. You can also type in PDF import in the command line. That'll also bring this up. This will give you two options: to select a PDF underlay, which we already have here, or to select from file. So you can actually import directly from a PDF file on your C drive or something. So we'll go ahead and select an underlay, this guy right here. And it's going to allow me to do a selection, but it's going to help me, or it's going to have me go through settings here if I want to. So these are the PDF import settings that it allows you to take in. So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to take vector geometry, change that into actual AutoCAD geometry. We can also take raster images in as well, and they show up as PNGs that are attached, but they're not going to show up as like editable. Say, for example, you have like an image that's like your company logo. It's not going to come in as geometry. It's going to come in as a PNG file. You have import options down here. Import as block, which means your entire selection will be one single block. And then there's things like applying line weight properties, convert solids into to hatches. So if any of this was solid, it would convert to hatches. Among other things. And layers, you have your use PDF layers. So some PDFs are smart enough to keep that layered data from AutoCAD if it's got vector data in it. Create object layers or current layer. I'm just going to use these particular settings to get this in here. I'm going to go ahead and select this right here. And right here is the next important step. It's going to ask me to keep, detach, or unload the PDF underlay. So if I want to keep the PDF underlay and be able to use it later to either import more geometry or use it as a reference, I can keep it, detach it, unload it, same kind of deal. So I'm going to detach it and actually only keep the geometry that I'm importing here. So as you can see, that happened pretty quickly there. It kind of detached everything, and all we're left with some geometry here. So let's go ahead and go to home here. As you can see, it brought in those PDF layers here, and I can go ahead and turn some of those off, such as the dimensioning. Say I didn't need anything, I can get rid of the title block, and I can mess with this geometry here. Say, for example, I wanted to delete this portion. I can erase this, I can move it, I can take items and do whatever I really want to. It's all editable as if you drew it yourself as polylines in AutoCAD. So let's go ahead and erase all of this guy. The second way to bring in a PDF is via the PDF import from file. So let's do that here. I'm just going to type in PDF import and select from file. So I've got a couple of files here. Excuse me. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the file as a PDF. Let me pull that up for you guys here. Documents. And this kind of shows you the workflow that might happen if say you get a PDF file from somebody that might have something wrong in it. KETIV AVA. And say my friend Eric here sent me a PDF of a drawing that he completed. Well, sometimes Eric misses some things, and Eric can't spell.
Me making a mistake? Yeah, first time
for everything, for sure. In this particular title here, for this view, it's south runt escalation, where in actuality it should be south front elevation. Before you'd have to ask I'd have to ask Eric, and Eric's an awfully hard guy to get a hold of.
Except for the customers.
There you go. I'd have to ask him for that original drawing file, and I'd have to go ahead and text there myself. Well, actually, I don't have to anymore. I can go ahead and just import this PDF into AutoCAD and edit the text there myself. So same kind of deal. It gives you the same options here, pretty much, and but you have a little bit more freedom here. You can browse for different files. If it's a multi-page PDF, you can select which page to import. Say, for example, this was like a 5-page PDF. I can import page 3. And in regards to bringing the raster images in, if you go into options, you can select where that image location is going to be. Make sure that's proper for your workflow. So let's go ahead.
And then Nigel, let me interrupt you for a quick second. I just saw a question pop up from Derek. Derek's asking about if I import something in from AutoCAD MEP, how does that show up as a PDF? And I'm assuming he means maybe mechanical or piping.
Yeah, so you can bring stuff like that in. When you bring it in as geometry, it might not necessarily bring it in as those special objects. It'll bring it in as like plain old geometry.
Okay, so if I'm bringing it in from somebody using AutoCAD architecture and they add that intelligent object, a window or a door, it's just going to show up as lines. Okay.
It'll come in as lines. It's not that smart, but maybe soon, we'll be able to bring some of that information in. Just because it got changed to PDF, it lost some of that data.
Gotcha.
That smart data over. So let's go ahead and import this guy here. It'll take a while. It's converting 30,000 PDF elements. And a ton of lines here, so we're going to get all this stuff in, and it's evaluating solid fills. So essentially, it's going to hatch all solids, which is nice. So, hey, look, brought in this this file here. This came in as PNG. It's a raster image right here. This is just that, and well, check it out here. I can go ahead and edit this text directly from the PDF, which is great. It recognizes this as a text in AutoCAD. And I can go ahead and change this to elevation. And let's put a smiley face there just because. So as you'll notice, you'll be able to select these things as objects, lines, etc. Sometimes you're going to get issues like this where you have SHX text. Mm-hmm. When you have SHX text, it doesn't recognize it as editable text. It brings it in as geometry. So something like this O is going to come in as an ellipse. And not necessarily text that you can edit, and that's just because it's a different font type. I think this PDF was made long ago. So yeah, as you can see, you can go ahead and edit anything that the AutoCAD program recognizes as text. So instead of building dreams, I'll crush them. And you can edit any text that way. You can edit lines.
Architecture to a demolition company now?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to go to a demolition company. We're going to be able to do that. And you can draw on top. It'll snap to all of these things. So you say, for example, you wanted, I don't know why anyone would do this, but you could, snap to midpoints if that's set on, or snap to corners. I don't have midpoint set on, I think, right now. But anyways, that is how you do that. So you can change all of these without having to get that original DWG file. You can go ahead and even save this down to a DWG file, or save it again to a PDF and be able to send it to the next guy. I know it becomes a problem when you have drawings with a ton of XREFs on them. You print them to PDF to avoid having to send all of that data across something like email. And sometimes you run into issues, and this is how you solve those issues. Definitely something that a couple of people have asked Autodesk a lot lately.
Gotcha.
And they've brought it to you in all of the verticals, which is really nice. It looks like we've got a couple of questions here.
This is not necessarily in any order, but the last one comes from Miguel. Is the 2017 file format, has that changed?
No, so if I wanted to go ahead and save this file down.
I think it's the same as the 2012, right? Or
it's 2013. Yeah, it saves as AutoCAD 2013 drawing. AutoCAD is one of the only products that Autodesk has released that is backwards compatible. Vanilla AutoCAD. I'm not talking about any of the verticals here. I don't want to trick anyone into accidentally saving some verticals files. But yes, AutoCAD 2017 does use the standard AutoCAD 2013 drawing file type. So you can run this product or you can run a drawing in 2017 and your buddy will be able to open it in his 2014, no problem. Really nice thing about AutoCAD.
Gotcha.
Makes it nice and easy to collaborate with people.
Perfect. And then maybe you can see that one because I can't access it for some reason. But it looks, I know Bill and Alan had questions out there for some time.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull these out.
Let's make these bigger.
Yeah, I'll make this a little bit bigger. I'm just going to stay in AutoCAD and not go into the Q&A slide just in case I need to show something. Let's see.
Bill's question, can I turn the background music off?
I don't think there was any background music. I don't think there was. Anyways, well, we'll cover some of these other questions. It looks like Les had a question. You know what? Let's turn on the camera so people can see our beautiful faces, Eric. Any scale issues with importing an old PDF file where you may not know the scale? So here's the thing with PDF files, is a lot of PDF files are generated as like scanned images. So say, for example, you take a big old blueprint from 1975 that was, you know, drawn on a 6-foot table, kind of older than I am.
A lot older.
For sure. And you go ahead and scan that image. That is not going to show up as vector data in AutoCAD. That's going to show up as raster data in AutoCAD. It's going to come in as an image, not necessarily as lines. That's just the nature of like scanned images in that sense. When you create these PDFs from AutoCAD or from things like MicroStation, that's when you can take this vector data and import it. But to answer your question, Les, say for example I wanted to import something else, or say for example one of these guys again. Let's jump in there real quick.
Okay.
You can specify the scale here.
And can they see that, Nigel?
Yeah, they should be able to see this still. You can specify the scale here, and you can select which page of the document you want. In that sense, it'll tell you what page size the PDF is drawn to and the scale that PDF is. Things like raster images, like those scanned PDFs, they might not necessarily have this data, so it's kind of difficult.
Gotcha.
Alan has a question. This only works as a true import in the PDF was generated from within AutoCAD. A scanned PDF will be registered to a raster manipulation, will create a huge file. Yes, and that's what I just explained, Alan. Thank you for reiterating that. A lot of people do have scanned PDFs, and this functionality might not necessarily work for that. If you're working on like old legacy data from like street plans from whenever some city was generated.
1920s LA. And it looks like Alan actually just put in a follow-up.
For sure. In Alan's follow-up, you can convert the scanned PDF to a TIFF file, import it, manipulate it, raster, and produce a smaller file. Yes, you can. There are ways to take those scanned PDFs, change them to things like TIFFs, things like PNGs, and get smaller file types that way. But it's still going to come in as raster images that are grids, not necessarily vector data. Jonathan Sparks has a question. How can I protect my source CAD data or plotted PDFs to keep unauthorized use by those I send PDFs to? That's a big one that we actually thought about when we're coming with this presentation, or like even looking at the PDF import functionality here in AutoCAD. You can change it. I guess you can convert it to raster data in that sense, and then send it out. Because if it's raster data, they can't import it like this into AutoCAD. But that's definitely a concern that a couple of people do have is, you know, how do I protect my PDF data from getting edited by someone else? Say, for example, right? Yeah, you know, I'm going to take credit for Eric's work. I can change the title block, say drawn by me, not Eric. It's kind of scary. But yeah, there's some workarounds.
The only other thing I can think of is just using a cloud-based document management tool that's going to actually track your revisions. But that's a pain just for stuff you're sending. Maybe it doesn't have a project that warrants that, just kind of sending it to one person. But I know you can track like revisions and actually lock down releases and tools like Vault or A360 Team.
Yeah, it's just what happens if somebody accidentally steals that from your computer or something. Right. That's when you run into some issues. We can talk to you later about that, Jonathan. I think I have some solutions, and we can go over that on a one-on-one basis here. Rick Weber, how soon will this recording be online to view? I'd love to view it and try it all again step by step. So we're going to go ahead and post this on our YouTube channel either sometime today or tomorrow. I'm also doing this presentation again next week. If you guys want to join me for that and watch it over again. Hey, maybe you missed the first half or something. You want to watch it again. And that's in our general manufacturing AVA. This kind of deals with them too.
Right, so we've got two AVAs, one for the AEC industry we do on Wednesdays every couple weeks, and then one for our manufacturing customers every Thursday, 10 a.m. Same type of format. Obviously, the content's a little bit different. Occasionally, we'll cheat and overlap a little bit, especially when we're pressed up on time. So next Thursday, if you want to see it again live, you're certainly welcome to. Rick, there's notification for that goes out. But generally, it takes about 24 hours before we actually clean up this edit and record it and post it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, because sometimes we mess up. It's very possible. But also about tomorrow, Eric. Tomorrow we have an AVA for manufacturing that relates to the AEC customers.
Okay, so tomorrow's another overlap. I know it's relevant to some of the people on here, structural engineers, people who deal with fabrication, but it's on advanced steel. That functionality is essentially a tool for automating a lot of the connections in steel detailing.
Yep, steel detailing, doing things like your big old iron staircases and stuff like that. It's cool. Advanced steel, you can create a staircase in one click. It's actually really awesome in that sense.
Right, it automates a lot of that workflow. Maybe not relevant to anyone on here, but I thought it's worth mentioning. One other thing I'd probably say, I don't think anyone's actually asked this, but I might as well just address it while we're on here right now. Nigel touched on it earlier. How do you get the newest 2017 AutoCAD? If you're current on subscription either being that maintenance, it's like that $500 you pay every year with after you buy a perpetual license, you automatically have access to the updates. 2017 came out, I want to say in March or April time.
About April.
The 2018 release will come out next March or April. If you don't have AutoCAD, your only option is to subscribe. Subscribe being a lease, or Autodesk calls it a term-based license.
Correct.
So you pay to use the new version from 3 to 36 months. So that's one option to get it. You can subscribe in a package of other products. They call it a collection. Or you can just subscribe to AutoCAD on its own, and that will obviously get you the newest releases.
Definitely. And for those of you who, it's mentioned in here, you want the data set that I'm using just to play around with the PDFs and everything, I'll be more than happy to send that to you. Just go ahead and let us know. I'll get that to you. I did run into some issues before. The biggest fault that I kept doing, I'll show you guys, is I was like, oh, import as block. I definitely want these things to show up as blocks. Well, if you import as block, it shows up as one block.
Gotcha.
So the entire geometry shows up as one thing. You can't really manipulate anything. And that was a mistake that I made a couple of times, and I was like, ugh. So I turned that off for the most part.
Hey, we're all learning. Right?
Yeah, just letting you guys know that that's something that I had a problem with when I was learning how to do this. Oh, I accidentally converted another one.
Gotcha.
Anyways, and Rick asked another question. Have you done or perhaps will do an advanced steel and Revit webinar?
As far as advanced steel in Revit, so advanced steel actually runs on top of AutoCAD, and we can get in it more offline. But as far as the workflow in between Revit, I don't think we have per se. I know tomorrow's demo or webinar is going to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, we can talk more about it offline, Rick, if you're interested.
For sure. This is available in all 2017s, even LT. So LT all the way up to MEP, electrical, architecture. It's all there. You can import PDFs as long as they're vector data. If you have any questions about your particular PDFs or are having trouble importing them yourselves, you can go ahead and give us a call. I don't know why the number's not popping up here. Here we go. You can call this number or email questions@ketiv.com, and we'll be able to answer your question. This goes direct to our Lifeline team. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's the team that I work on here at KETIV, kind of our support frontline. We help people with their installation, activation, and even problems in software. We have, a dozen techs with, I guess if you add up all our years of experience, it's like over 8.
Almost a decade.
No, more than a decade, yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our Lifeline support team. So that's where those questions get directed. Obviously, you can reach out to Nigel and myself personally.
Yep.
I think it's about it. So we'd like to thank you guys for attending, and stay posted for our next Lunch and Learn.
Definitely, and we'll see some of you tomorrow, I guess, or even next Thursday if you want to see this presentation again. So adios, and that is how the cookie crumbles.
Enjoy the rest of your day.